Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm the Book Geek, and today I'm going to give you some book recommendations. June is Caribbean Heritage Month. My father's side of the family is all Jamaican. So I am very proud of my Caribbean heritage. And so I thought I'd recommend some Caribbean authors that you can check out. So some of these books I have read, some of them I have not. I'm exploring them along with you guys. So the first author I'm going to recommend is Nicola Yoon. She is from Jamaica, and she wrote Everything, which I have read, as well as The Sun is Also a Star, which I also read. I gave both of these books 5 stars. Both of these books have also been adapted into movies as well. Everything was about a young girl who was forced to stay inside. She believed all her life that she would get sick if she went outside, and she ends up falling for the boy next door, and she explores the outdoors, basically. The Sun is Also a Star is about a Jamaican family that is set to be deported back to Jamaica. They reside in America, but they're due to be deported back to Jamaica, and the daughter is determined to try and find some way, some sort of help to assist her family in not being deported. And while doing so, while trying to seek help, she bumps into, oh my God, what is his name? Daniel. She bumps into Daniel, and they have the most incredible day together. And it's the only time that they really have together because her family is set to be deported. So it's both stories are romance books, young adult romance books. I highly suggest you check both of these books out. I loved both of them. Another author I'm going to recommend to you is Izabella Beau. She is from Haiti. She is the author of American Street, My Life as an Ice Cream Sandwich, and Pride. Pride is a Pride and Prejudice retelling with an urban twist. American Street is a young adult contemporary novel. It's about a mother and a daughter who are immigrating to America, but the mother is detained and the daughter is left alone to, explore this new world all on her own. My Life as an Ice Cream Sandwich is a children's middle grade book. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this story explores a young girl's envisioning living in her own fantasy world, her own imaginary world that she's created, rather than deal with the harsh realities of the real world. It sounds like an excellent story. This is a book that I would read for myself, and I would also purchase for my children to read. And never mind the background, guys, because my bedroom is also my home library and also my craft area where I run a small business. So there's no room in this tiny room for me to have all of these things. And I am running out of space to put stuff. So it is a little cramped in here right now. The next author I want to recommend to you to celebrate Caribbean Heritage Month is Edwidge Danticat, and I hope I'm saying her name right. She hails from Haiti, and one of the books that I've read by this author is titled Breath, Eyes, Memory. As you can see, I did take some notes. Some of the tabs have fallen out since I've read this book. But this story explored a Haitian family. It was rich in Haitian culture, but especially the women of this family and the women of this culture. In the book, the main character, oh God, what's her name? Sophie, the daughter in the story, Sophie. She's struggling. She's sent away at a young age. One thing I'm noticing a lot with immigrant stories is that family members are being sent away, children are being sent away, and I understand why. But it's a common thing that occurs in these migrant stories, and reading these stories is a great way to explore how, sending your child away, no matter how beneficial it might have been for them, how sending your child away causes a lot of these underlining family issues that occur in a lot of these stories. Like in this book, you know, Sophie is struggling to get along with her mother, and she's struggling with these customs and traditions. We follow her through her life from childhood to an adult, and we really get a chance to see how the mother's perspective in life was versus the younger generation, how she's starting to come to terms with how she feels about these things, and she struggles to communicate these things to her mother because they come from two different generations, and this is how they did things in her mother's day and age, but this is not how she wants to continue doing things in her day and age. So this was a fantastic book. I remember I gave this one 5 stars. Edwidge Danticat also wrote a book called Crick Crack, which is another popular book of hers. It is a short story collection, I believe. It is a historical fiction book, and she also wrote a book called Untwine, which is also on my TBR list. And guys, I'm just giving you a few books from each of these authors. Most of these authors have written several other books. I'm just giving you a few of their most popular ones. Untwine, the synopsis for Untwine reads as follows. 16-year-old Giselle Boyer and her identical twin, Isabel, are as close as sisters can be. They are each other's strongest source of support, even as their family life seems to be unraveling and their parents are considering divorce. Then the Boyers have a tragic encounter that will shatter everyone's world forever. Giselle wakes up in a hospital room, injured and unable to speak or move. She doesn't know what's happened to her sister, to her family, to herself. Trapped in the prison of her own body, Giselle must revisit her past in order to understand how the people closest to her, her friends, her parents, and above all, Isabel, have shaped and defined her. Will she allow her love for her family and friends to buoy her and lead her on the path to recovery? Or will she remain lost in a painful spiral of longing and regret? Untwine is a spellbinding tale, lyrical and filled with love, mystery, humor, and heartbreak. It is a young adult, realistic fiction and contemporary book, and I want to read it. I think Breath, Eyes, Memory is a great place to start with Edwidge Danticat, and if you love this book and you like her writing, then I also suggest Untwine and Crick Crack. Another author I'd like to recommend is Elizabeth Acevedo. She is the daughter of Dominican immigrants, and so she is very well capable of writing from the perspective of her culture. She wrote such books as The Poet X, With the Fire on High, and her newest book, Clap When You Land, which has been everywhere, all over Bookstagram. It is the story of, I believe, 2 sisters whose father dies in a plane crash and their life is forever changed. It is a young adult, contemporary, and a realistic book. And I also believe this one could be recommended for Pride Month as well, because I think it has some queer or LGBTQ representation. The Poet X is written in verse. The entire book is written in poetry. I haven't read it yet. I'm ashamed to say I have not read Elizabeth Acevedo yet. But I have Clap When You Land in my cart on Amazon, and I just need to purchase it. I just need to hit that button and purchase the book already. Next, I'd like to recommend Nicole Y. Dennis Ben. She is the author of Patsy. She's the author of Here Comes the Sun. Patsy is also a book that I will be recommending for Pride Month as well. This author is from Jamaica. Here Comes the Sun is the story of a young girl who's fighting for financial independence. She doesn't want her sister to go down the same road that she had to go down. She wants better for her sister. She's also struggling with her sexuality. Her and her family are facing challenges that may impact them as well as the entire community. This one also has some LGBT representation. I'd like to also recommend Nilo Hopkinson. She is the author of Midnight Robber. And you know what I'm just now noticing? All of these authors are female. I did not add any male authors to my list, and I apologize for that. Maybe at the end of the video, if I can research a little bit more, I'll add on some male authors. I did not deliberately do that. Maybe down below in the description box or down below in the comment section. I'm going to see if I can find some Caribbean male authors to recommend to you. But the one I want to recommend to you right now is Nilo Hopkinson. She is the author of Midnight Robber. This is a sci-fi fantasy book. I have not read this one yet, but I've watched reviews on it on YouTube. In this story, the author makes the folklore come to life. I hear it is magical and mesmerizing. It's rich in culture, including the language that is used throughout the story. I hear that parts of the story is written in patois, which I can appreciate. Also, I forgot to mention that Nilo Hopkinson is also from Jamaica. The next author I want to recommend to you is Alexia Arthurs. She is also from Jamaica, and she is the author of How to Love a Jamaican. I believe this is a short story collection where the author explores West Indian immigrants and their families and their backgrounds and their stories. It is a short story collection that explores many different avenues regarding Jamaican immigrants. And last but not least, I would like to recommend Jamaican Kincaid. She comes from Antigua, and there are two books that I've been interested to read from her that I have not read yet. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I have not read them yet. The first book I want to recommend to you is titled Lucy. The character Lucy explores a wide range of emotions, and when you're reading some of the reviews and whatnot from other readers, Lucy is not a very likable character, and some people have struggled to enjoy this book because Jamaica Kincaid wrote an unlikable protagonist. But you know, I've seen different explorations of the story. It's definitely a coming of age story, but I think in a lot of ways Lucy is the result and physical portrayal of a society and family that she struggles to come to terms with. I believe Lucy migrates from her home, her native land, to America to become an au pair for a rich family. And she's struggling, and with that comes a lot of rage and sadness and pride. And all of these things are explored if you can, you know, dive a little deeper and think about what Lucy actually represents. I think you get a lot more out of this story. Jamaican Kincaid also wrote a book titled Annie John. This is another young adult coming of age story. And that is it, guys. Those are my recommendations for you to possibly read to celebrate Caribbean Heritage Month. I want to start reading Midnight Robber, or maybe I'll re-explore Breath, Eyes, Memory. Those are my recommendations. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so you know each time I post a video. I'm going to try and find some male authors. I swear I did not do that on purpose. I just was researching and just happened to come across, just happened to write down all female authors. But I'm going to try and list some male Caribbean authors either down below in the description box or in the comment section down below. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.